Well, thank you for everyone who joined us here. We're going to talk a little bit about the surrogate selection and how what we do to screen the potential surrogates. So, first, a little bit about our agency. International Surrogacy Center, we're based in Murrieta. That's about 45 minutes northeast of San Diego. 90% of our surrogates are based in California, and probably 50% or 60% in Southern California. And mostly local to us, within an hour or two at the most. We probably accept about 10% of the surrogate requests we receive into our agency. So not every woman that comes in who wants to be a surrogate that has a child can become a surrogate. There's a lot of requirements that we look for. For example, she has to be within a certain age range, a certain BMI. She must have uncomplicated pregnancies. She couldn't deliver at 30 weeks. Oh, I have my first child at 30 weeks and I want to be a surrogate. You can. You can have gestational diabetes. You have to be healthy. There's a lot of things we look for in these potential surrogates. So most of them that come to us don't meet the requirements to become a surrogate with us. And even when we do just the prelim, which is the initial information from her, once we receive her records, there's a lot of things that come out there. For example, she didn't mention that she had, depression, or she was bleeding in the hospital at 20 weeks. Maybe she forgot about it, or maybe she didn't think it was very important to mention that. So there's a lot of great information we obtain from the medical records. And we have her give us all her OB records. This means we need all the notes that her OB wrote during her pregnancy with her own kids. For example, maybe she was late every time to the OB doctor, or like I mentioned, she had a bleeding that she didn't tell us about. So we gather a lot of information from those records. So we do meet all our surrogates in person. We have a thorough interview with them before our full interview. We have them complete an application. We do criminal background checks, psychological screening. We review all the records thoroughly for the surrogate. So I just, what's important for me to mention, because I've heard this a lot today, is that how do we select them? How do we know that you're going to have to trust this person to carry your child and, take care of your baby for 9 months? We have one person in our office, our intake manager, actually 2 right now, dedicated just to accepting potential surrogates. And also there's a lot of, when we meet them in person, there's a lot we gather from that. We don't just accept them over an application, over email, or over a phone call. Once we meet them in person, we can see, actually how they're dressed, how they take care of themselves. That says a lot. So that if they're married and their husband goes to the interview with them, well, that says that he's a supportive, husband supporting his wife through this journey. It's great when the husband's involved, or the partner, or boyfriend, whoever it is. That also says a lot about, the surrogate. So I just wanted to make sure that I touch on, on that point. That's how we select them. Anyone have any questions about surrogate selection, or? I think.
Do you do any kind of if the partner doesn't come with them to the interview, do you do any kind of background check into the partner?
We do a background check on the surrogate, and then either her spouse or her partner or significant other. If there's somebody really in her life, then we will do a background check on that person. So if there's some hesitancy, if she says, oh, my husband is not too sure about this, we're not going to go forward with her until we've talked with her and make sure that she has talked to him and he's also supportive, because it's going to be a big role for him to also play.
And just, he does have to sign off saying that, he's aware of this, he's going to have a criminal background, he's on a psychological screening, and also he's part of the legal contract. If she's married, he has to be part of it and review the contract with her and sign it. So he, the husband, partner, plays a huge role in this.
So my question was similar to what he asked, but what if the person is a single parent, the surrogate, is she a single parent, and who do you screen? Like her family, or?
We don't. So, for example, if a surrogate comes to us and she's single, and we've had this before, where I've had a surrogate say, I just moved in the area, I would love to do this, and I have some acquaintances, and I say, I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable that if you were to be put in the hospital, that someone is going to be there for you to take care of your children while you're pregnant and trying to take care of this baby. So that's something we wouldn't move forward with, and I've told someone that before. So I do need to know that they have a supportive either family nearby, or if it's somebody that's very much in their life, not just an acquaintance. And so those are things before you even see them, we've already talked to her about, and tell her. I mean, we do have to go over worst case scenarios with her, and so she's aware that there's a possibility, even though you've had a great pregnancy, you could end up in the hospital. But we don't say do a background check on that. Say if they have a roommate, we don't run a background check on that roommate. We don't really have many girls that have a roommate.
We don't. They're probably not financially stable if they have a roommate.
Yeah.
We do require for them to show pay stubs to verify that they're working. This surrogacy is supposed to be extra money. This is not supposed to be your sole source of income. So they have to prove to us they have a job, give us your 3 months worth of pay stubs. If their husband or boyfriend or partner, whoever they're with, works, we have to see his pay stubs. So it's not her saying, oh, my husband works, he supports me. No, you need to prove to us. Because we don't want to ever her be in a situation where she doesn't have money to go to a doctor appointment and she's relying on her surrogacy money. That would be a bad scenario. So that would not be good.
Thank you.
Any other questions about surrogate selection or how we screen them? Or also, we don't do a home visit. And we've heard that once or twice where clients will ask, well, can you go to your home? We're like, absolutely. If you want us to go to your home, we have no problem going to your home. I feel like it's, a little pointless because, the baby's inside her belly, I'm not too worried where she's living. As long as she can prove she can support herself, she's stable, she's healthy. But if that's something that matters, to you, would be more than happy. Or, for example, if she would have a roommate, which we don't have a surrogate right now, has a roommate, you would want that person screened, wouldn't have a problem with that either.
We can easily make it sound like it's protocol. It's not something that the intended parents have asked, and that's what we're here for, is to kind of be the middle person that doesn't necessarily make them feel that the intended parents are digging in more. That is just something we do, or standard.
So I thought surrogates would be screened before we meet them, or intended parents meet them, but if you tell them that it's a new protocol, doesn't it show the correct?
It depends. So the criminal background check we do before, the psychological screening we're in the process of having done before. Right now it's when they're in we have a database of surrogates that are available. Once you see them, it's just the criminal background check as of today. But that's something we're implementing where the psychological screening is done. But they first-time surrogates too. They don't know, and so it's really easy. Just like if you wanted to do random testing throughout the surrogacy, it's really easy to put into your contract, and they don't know that it's not standard. So things like that.
It's a little more difficult if it would be a proven surrogate who kind of knows how it works, a bit more challenging. But first-time girls have no idea. They just follow our lead and think, okay.
And girls too that have nothing to hide and no fear are like, sure, that's fine. I don't care. Come over, come look at my house, or sure, I'll have this person be screened, no problem.
Yeah. Go ahead.
How do the surrogates come to you? Do you advertise, or is it more word of mouth, or just how it works?
It's both. I would say it might even be 50-50. I believe that a lot of women are interested in this. It's just the unknown. They don't know someone that's done it. So when you meet like a friend, a family member, a neighbor that's been a surrogate, that's when you go, well, tell me about it. Can I go to your agency? So they kind of follow their lead. So a lot of it is word of mouth. And we do advertise, just Facebook, Google, the standard right now is primarily social media nowadays. It's not a lot of like magazines or stuff that print, it's primarily social media. But it probably is about 50%, if not a little less, word of mouth. That they heard it from someone already. And I understand that's still surrogacy, even You know, in California, there's a lot of people that have no idea how it works. You know, no idea that the surrogate gets paid or she gets to be friends with the couple.
In terms of advertisements, where do you advertise? University publications or newspapers, or where? Can you be specific?
It's specifically Facebook and Google Ads. That's really my main source of advertising when it comes to social media. We do a few like local, like news family newspapers, but it's primarily social media.
And just follow up on that. In terms of acceptance, which ratio is higher from the source, like from people coming from advertisement or people coming from word of mouth, like referrals? Do you see bigger acceptance in certain category or?
Word of mouth always.
Okay.
Because the surrogate, whoever they spoke with, already told her a little bit about the process. They probably, if they didn't meet the criteria, she probably already told them, oh, you have problems, you probably are not going to meet the requirements. So it's really word of mouth. We actually love when we have a surrogate refer someone else because we know she probably already told her about the process, she's probably aware of it, and someone we have a reference on.
Follow-up question on that. So, not only you guys, but we have met so many people, right? Everybody said like surrogate, main intention should not be money. But if you take your phone and just do surrogacy in San Francisco, whatever area, first ad that will pop up or many ads that will pop up is, be a surrogate, earn $60,000.
Yeah.
How can we see through that their main motive is not the money? And it's about the growth of relationship. It's like love. It's like someone is doing such a great cause for us, and we respect that and appreciate that. We have to see that. How that is that process transparent, or how can we bifurcate that?
She's been a surrogate 4 times, so I'll let her answer that question.
No, and I love that question because, to be honest, you can, in the beginning, we can get a feel from how this person's already. So that first phone call, you know, the type of questions they might ask us are very money driven, and you can tell what's going to be, where they're coming from. But to be very honest with you, I'm okay with the surrogate that says to me, I would love to help, but it's also going to help me. You know, and so that's okay. And then we have some that say, I would just love to do this, I didn't even know money's involved, and I would love this. We don't have the surrogate, or we're not going to even go forward with the surrogate that thinks that this is, like she was saying, a job, because there's so many factors that are wrong about that, because it's not necessary. There's a heart, there's human aspects in it, and we don't even know if this is going to be pregnant the first time, it's going to be easy. There's challenges that can come with it, and it's not a job. So yes, it is, I think, transparent. It's transparent from us in the beginning. You'll see in the profile as well, just kind of what this person is writing about, and you can kind of get a feel of, is this coming from the heart? Is she coming from the heart wanting to do this? And like I said, it's okay that this is going to help her too at the same time. But you'll, I think, really be able to feel that. And if I can add to, I know we're talking about surrogates, I work with the intended parents all the time, and I help with the matching part. And it's okay, you need a surrogate and it doesn't feel right. Please say, this is not the one. Don't ever feel that you have to settle with that one or make it work. It's never going to work if you're going to make it work. Like if you're going to try to, will she be willing to do this? And she's kind of like, you know, then it's not right. It's not right. And I'm happy to tell you that.
Yeah, and we will. If a client meets someone and Skype someone and they say, well, we weren't sure what's going on. No, don't. Just don't move forward. Wait for the right fit. If someone that's carrying your child, we're never going to try to persuade you or try to push you to a surrogate. It has to feel perfectly right. If not, don't even continue. And I know you have a question.
Yeah, so we came in a little bit late, so I'm not sure if this was already asked, but as far as, it sounds like you have a very stringent process to select the right surrogates. What happens in the case where one kind of slips through the cracks and she's already maybe pregnant, and all of a sudden a red flag comes up in the first trimester? Oh, you know, maybe she's, you know, something that's not kosher that she's doing. What happens in that scenario?
I can tell you that it's happened to us once, and it just happened, I think, a year ago, where the case manager, who's a person who follows the process, had a little bit of concerns about this. She brought them up to us and said, you know what, there's something just not right, not very responsive. The parents also feel it. So what we did is we made her go to all her OB appointments. and get
case
copies.
manager.
The case manager would go to every OB appointment and get copies of everything. All medical records, all the testing, because we had a vibe of there was, the parents could feel it was not responsive, just felt like the communication, like she was always busy all of a sudden, like a little strange. We could never figure out what it was. I mean, the case manager went to every appointment and obtained, you know, lab records, OB records, notes, everything. There's nothing more that we can do other than that. You know, there really isn't nothing more. So at that point, we never figured it out. At the end, it was still a little weird. And they were a very sweet couple. They wanted to keep the relationship going, and she really didn't care at that point, which was odd. So, you know, to answer your question, we do everything we can from our partner. We can hold it, keep an eye on more, and make sure we're on top of the medical. That's what we care, that your child is